This week I'll break down one of the cleanest trade I took on AUDUSD. I'll walk you through how I approached it, what I waited for, and why patience paid off. But this was a valid trade according to my trade plan. I executed my trading plan fully without any hesitation. So yeah, let's get onto it. Let's go over first from the daily time frame. I'll just zoom out and see how the weekly chart is looking. Normally, as I was saying last week as well, we had this breakup structure on the weekly. We are now pulling back for this weekly premium. So yes, and expecting a further bullish leg from the daily is can make sense, right? So that is why we had this massive bull run from last couple of weeks ago, and now we're just chopping around. It's not the best price action, but if we look, we have this strong low that led to the break of the highs, and now we pull back into this demand, and now we are chopping around. So we don't know if we are going to run the highs or we are going to run the lows, because we have been generating internal range liquidity behind. So there will be a decent chance of price sweeping this one and then go as well because of those liquidity resting. Normally, the strong low or high forms after the big sweep of the liquidities, for example, here as well. So yeah, anything can happen. Structural wise, it's still protected. We can see this high go, but let 4 hour and 1 hour show us this move. This is the 4 hour. Yeah, so on the 4 hour, same as daily internal, we had this recent break of structure. We had this internal structure bearish. After that, what do we have? We got this impulsive move to the upside, reacted off the supply, and now we are pulling back, right? So with the expectation of the 4 hour, main expectation is to run the highs above. Why? Because we already had a pullback into the extreme. Internal has switched bullish. Now we are just playing the pullback before we can see that another leg up. That is why, while we have this supply in control, where is this one? While we are still in control of this, we know because the order flow is bearish, right? Until and unless we don't see this 4 hour supply fill, we can't confirm the high is weak. And eventually, once we see that high get taken out, we ultimately know this high will be weak, and then we can expect that to happen. Until then, we can capitalize on the sells. It's a little bit aggressive, it's not conservative as we were trying to play. Let's see, this one or even this one, or even without pulling back into this one, probably up to here. Like if we had this decent pullback, that would be decent. But now, where are we are playing within this internal range. We pull back already into the discount, almost into the EQ, and if we just drop, we have mitigated the supply demand range. That is why it's a little bit aggressive. But while the order flow is bearish, this high has taken out the lows, and now we are pulling back correctively into the supply. So we can expect another bearish move as well if we pull back up to this here, or this may be the sell side liquidity sweep because it has just a weak break. So we can definitely see that as well. It's a little bit tricky. It can go either way, but while this supply is holding, I think sales can be interesting, and this demand is completely unmitigated if we refined. So hoping to see price if it comes back here up from this supply, because this is the only area where price may wants to come back from into this demand. Simple expectations coming into the session was we are already into the supply with the right confirmation on the 1 hour. That is a strong shift. I would be happy to play the sells to the demand, right? Just a quick move, because also if we look on the 4 hour, this move, it's quite impulsive, followed by corrective. It will be much clearer on the 1 hour time frame anyway. Let's see 1 hour time frame. What do we have? Let's squeeze this. So this is the 1 hour time frame. What did we have? Same as 4 hour, we had this internal swing breakup structure, which was essentially that 4 hour internal range. We had this pullback, and while this 4 hour supply was still holding, we were not expecting this for a switch, right? Because in order for us to see this high is weak, we have to have that internal structure back switch in bullish, because at this point what we have this big swing now is aligned with the internal, and now we are ready to run the highs, but that is not the case yet. So from the 4 hour we know that this is completely unmitigated, so there is a reason that price may wants to come back into this demand before creating another leg to the upside. Yeah, so coming into the session, we were just mitigating this 4 hour supply. So with the right confirmation from here, I was expecting for a sell move. Also, another very good confluence that I had for this trade was, see how impulsive move this is, and now we are pulling back correctively. It's the correction is very corrective. It's not impulse. So this often happens like, you know, like impulsive move followed by correction and then impulsive move. So this is slightly getting impulsive move to the upside as well, but it's not confirmed. And with this impulsive move, with that corrective nature of the price action, if we get that strong shift on the 1 hour time frame, then I was happy to capitalize on the sell move. Even though it's not very high probability, if we were doing here like that would be high probability, because at this point now we have enough risk to reward on our side, almost up to the EQ. But in this case, it's not the case. We already pulled back into the extreme. We can expect that to continue. But with this corrective nature of price action, I was happy to play the sell from here after the confirmation. Main negative confluence for this was already discussed. We already pulled back into the extreme, right? I've swept the liquidity. This is not a candle body close. If we had candle body close right there, then that would be different, but it's not the case. We swept and then we're trying to push up. So if the 4 hour and the 1 hour swing objective is completed, then we are ready to switch bullish for this move. So accepting that risk and being a little bit of conservative on the confirmation with the execution, and then I was happy to play the sell move. So let's go back to the London Open. For me to consider sell, I was expecting this to fail, to go lower, because currently what do we have? We have this demand in control, right? I was hoping to see this fail and then only consider sells. For longs, I was expecting the supply to fail and then trade from the high probability POIs, because at this point this is going to be the high probability now. Why? Because swing is strong is aligned with the internal structure, because this is protected. But until then, let's see if we can get a shift, and then probably I can expect play the sell from here. It's going to be a very quick one. Sell, because I'm trading against the internal 4 hours strong. So yeah, we're pulling back. We got a nice rejection from this 4 hour supply, which is really good. Yeah, we have been mitigating much deeper. So now we got a break, which is this one. What happened? We reacted and then we got a failed reaction. So that means now I have this supply. That is a flip. Why? Because we got a reaction. Reaction has failed and then will lead to the downside. So that means once we see the high, the low taken out, we know this low is weak. Why? Because it has not done its job. It has not break and closed above this high. That is why once we get that shift, we know this low is weak, and now sells are high probability. See how the strong momentum is there from the London session kicked in after 4 hour supply mitigation. So this was high probability for me to capitalize on the sell move, accepting the negative confluences as well. So now for me to get involved, I have to see a POI mitigation, right? I need to see this one go. Let's see. All right, so we went there, take out this low. I don't like this impulsive nature on the M15, right? Because what can happen is, since we got this broke up coming from the 4 hour supply, we have been doing this, and now with this type of liquidities, it can be just a liquidity sweep with to push the price high. Because why? We're coming from the sweep on the 1 hour, and with this type of inducing liquidity, that's just right there. And after we swept this, see how the strong momentum is. That's a negative confluence, but I'm just happy with the trade as well, because there will be always negative confluences on each trade. Otherwise, all people will buy one trade, right? Will have the same confluences. So with this, accepting this negative confluence, I was happy to place sell. And also the another big negative confluence was the sweep. But the main positive side is we are coming from for our supply. We got the confirmation with strong shift. We know this low is weak, so for a quick sell, it's more than valid for me. So with this trade, I was about to press the stop here, and then 1-2. I did the wrong way. Yeah, 1-2. It's more than enough up to the low, because we know based on the structure this low is weak, so this is more than enough to get it to R, including commission. So that was M15. Yeah, let's see if we can get tagged in into the trade. Yep, we got tagged in and immediately we got stopped out, right? Beautiful trade. I was not expecting this mitigation to head down, because this was a completely unmitigated fresh supply. If we look on M15, took out the lid, it is what it is. Now let's see if we can get a deeper mitigation here and then go, but for longs I have to see this move up and then move up, then probably I'll play the longs. This was a lovely trade. Those were the positive and the negative confluences. Accepting those confluences, negative confluences on my side as well, it's really helpful, because now I know the reason for being a loss, right? I somehow kind of like I was aware of this kind of being the internal range liquidity. If I look on the M15, and with this type of V-shaped move, it can be the internal range liquidity sweep to push the price higher as well. Yeah, accepting the negative confluences and the positive confluences were really good for me. I was happy to play this trade. It's really good. I hope you guys took value from this video. Let me know your thoughts, and all feedback are welcome and appreciated, and I'm always eager to improve on. Cheers guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you like it, so that I can have a better content in future, right? Alright guys, take care. Bye bye.